Fever, clinically known as pyrexia, is an abnormal increase in body temperature, usually due to an illness. Commonly thought is an undesirable side effect of disease. Fever is actually an effective way the body uses to fight infection. Patients usually recover faster when they allow fever to run its course rather than suppressing it with fever-reducing medications. This is because a higher temperature slows down the growth of most pathogens as well as boosts the effectiveness of body's immune response. It also increases metabolic rate and thereby accelerating tissue repair. Normally, hypothalamus keeps the body's temperature within normal range of around 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. It receives input from heat and cold receptors throughout the body and activates heating or cooling accordingly. When the body is too hot, the hypothalamus sends instructions for it to cool down, for example, by producing sweats. On the other hand, when temperature drops, the hypothalamus directs the body to preserve and produce heat, mainly by the release of norepinephrine. Norepinephrine increases heat production in adipose tissues and induces vasoconstrictions to reduce heat loss. In addition, acetylcholine stimulates the muscles to shiver, converting stored chemical energy into heat. When immune cells detects the presence of a pathogen, for example upon binding to a component of bacterial cell walls, they produce inflammatory cytokines. Some of these cytokines are fever inducers or pyrogens. Pyrogens cytokines acts within the hypothalamus to induce the synthesis of prostaglandin E2, the major fever inducer. Prostaglandin E2 acts on thermoregulatory neurons of the hypothalamus to raise the body's temperature set point. In other words, prostaglandin E2 tricks the hypothalamus into thinking that the body is cold while in fact the temperature did not change. In response, the hypothalamus instructs the body to actively produce heat to raise the body temperature above normal. Fever-reducing medications such as aspirin, ibuprofen works by suppressing the prostaglandin E2 synthesis. Once infection is cleared, pyrogens are no longer produced and the hypothalamic thermostat cooling mechanisms such as sweating and vasodilatations are activated to cool the body down. While fever is usually beneficial and need not be treated, precautions should be taken to prevent body temperature from running too high, which may cause confusion, seizures, and irreversible damage to brain. Finally, it is important to differentiate between fever and hypothermia. Hyperthermia, the latter is often caused by extended exposures to increased heat or heat stroke. Unlike fever, the body's temperature set point in hypothermia is unchanged and the body doesn't produce the extra heat. Its cooling system is simply exhausted and fails to compensate for excessive external heat. Hyperthermia is always harmful and must be treated with various cooling methods. But fever-reducing medications are not effective as pyrogens are not involved.